The journey of the hero is filled with trials. Trials of courage. Trials of loss. Trials of war. Each forging the hero in the fires of resolve, wisdom, and strength, propelling them into the unknown. This journey never ends. The hero's journey is to become legend.
Hey guys, Negative9 here. How is it going, everybody? And I am hyped today because at PAX, Guild Wars 2 announced their first official expansion for the game, Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. Now with this expansion, they're adding a ton of new features, and I'm just really excited to see this thing come out. I'm just as excited now as I was when the game was announced, and I can't wait to see these features in the game. So let's go ahead and go over them right now. Alright, let's get stuck in. So the first new feature that they're adding to the game that they announced at PAX today was the introduction of something called the Mastery System. Now from what I can draw from this, it's a new progression system that is introduced after you get to level 80. It's sort of like a trait system, but from what I can see, it's like something that's meant to make you more unique, gives you some more customization to your character, make you more distinguishable from all the other characters in the world. From what we saw in the trailer, you can learn things like gliding, which was certainly something very interesting that I would have never predicted in Guild Wars 2, something maybe taken from Arcade, I don't know. They said something about being a language master. You can learn to translate and speak languages of these new races that are coming. We saw what definitely looked like Mersat, so maybe you can translate and speak Mersat. That'd be pretty cool. And legendary weapon research was something that's listed here on their website, so that will be certainly very interesting to see. Obviously, more legendary weapons are coming in this expansion. Another major question when this expansion was being leaked and things was, you know, what new zones are we going to be able to go and see? What new places will we be able to visit? And they answered that question. It's only one area of the world. It's not like a couple zones up in the north and like the Crystal Desert down here. It's just the Maguma Jungle, but they said it includes 3 maps, a top layer of this massive jungle, a middle layer, and a bottom layer, which I thought was kind of interesting. So it's like 3D top to bottom maps, so I'd assume you start on the top, and as you progress you go lower and lower into the depths of this jungle. And then obviously there's new bosses and events and stuff like that, but I'm really interested to see how this works, how if it's like separated, if you have to go through portals like you do from zone to zone, or if you fall from the top of the jungle, can you fall straight to the bottom? That'd be very interesting to see, and it could explain why we have these gliders and stuff now. So I'm really excited to see this. I'm glad it sounds like it's a big chunk of land, even though it's not spread around the world. It does seem like a substantial amount of area to cover. And from what I saw in the trailer right now, I've been looking in the trailer, it looks like we can see some Mersat cities, the same type of cities that we saw in some other trailers rising up out of the ground, and in the sneak peek trailer at the end of season 2, was it? I don't remember. I didn't play much of the Living Story, but that trailer that we had at the end that said, you know, check out PAX on the 24th, it showed some of the Mersat raising up cities, golden cities, and we definitely saw Ritlock open a gate and go into one of these massive cities. There are definitely some Mersat there, and from the trailer it says there also are allies, so I'm very interested to see how that works. Now this next feature I was completely blindsided by. I don't think many people saw this one coming, and it just shows that Guild Wars 2 really want to continue to innovate this MMO that they are making. They want it to be different from the other ones, and this is the introduction of specializations. It's basically evolving your gameplay. Each class will get new weapons, traits, skills, and mechanics, and it basically transforms your class into something new. They had this in Archage, and a lot of other games like Rift, I think. But in the trailer we saw some pretty cool stuff. One example that they gave us in the presentation was the ranger being able to turn into a druid. The only person that I think actually hinted at this ever, but I don't even think they thought it would be coming in this expansion, is Wooden Potatoes. He said he would like to see a system like this. I'm just amazed that it's come out. We also saw, or they also mentioned that necromancers would be using great swords. We've seen a lot of that in the story, how Traherne was a necromancer and had a great sword, and all these other people had them. People were like, why is this happening? They said they were teasing us the whole time. Necromancers will be able to use great swords. And just watching the trailer, we got to see 2 more. They haven't released all of them to us, but we have seen 2 more of them. We saw a Mesmer wielding a shield, so that's certainly interesting. And we saw an engineer with a hammer, as well as flying turrets, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, that's one that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to see the specializations for other classes. I'm also wondering if you'll be able to stay as a normal ranger. I'm assuming you would. Or if you can be a druid and a ranger. I mean, they go hand in hand. Are you both a druid and a ranger at the same time, or do you have to choose one or the other? But yeah, I'm certainly most excited about specializations, and I can't wait to see the rest of them. So with the introduction of specializations, they basically doubled the amount of classes in the game, because if you get new weapons, traits, and everything, for each one of these specializations, one for each class, or profession I should say, then it's doubling the amount of classes in the game. So they added those, but then they also went and announced a completely new profession called the Revenant. And this is Rytlock. This is Rytlock coming back from the mists and wielding the power of the mists. He's wearing heavy armor, and it looks pretty BA, to be honest. He has his blindfold on, and he shows us sort of what the Revenant gameplay is like. From the trailer, it looks like he uses polearms and swords. So we don't have much information at all on it. They just sort of announced it, but it is pretty exciting. Pretty exciting to have finally a new profession, and it's another heavy armor class. So we now have a correct amount, 3 and 3 and 3, I believe, for each armor specialization. So yeah, I'm excited to see the Revenant, and I'm probably going to end up playing it. And I'm sure there will be a lot of new Revenants running when this releases. And they finally introduced guild halls. This is a huge feature that is really the core of the original Guild Wars. I mean, it should have been in the game from release, probably, but it's finally in the game, and from what we saw in the trailer and what it says on their website, it looks like the guild hall will be located in the Maguma jungle. So I don't think it's just build one wherever you want. I think it is a set place in Maguma, but that is still cool. You still have a place where your guild can meet for guild events and meet before you do some sort of, open world boss. But yeah, it's certainly a great feature to add, one that probably should have been there for a while, but it's going to be here in Heart of Thorns. And we now get to the PvP section. A lot of people were wondering what they're going to do to PvP. A lot of people thought dueling was coming into the game. I don't believe they announced that. But I also don't think it's a huge deal. I mean, dueling, yeah, you fight one person. I don't know why so many people have been calling for it. Because, I mean, if you really want to duel somebody, you can do it. It's not like you can't do it. It's impossible. But, yeah, I mean, it'd be probably pretty easy to introduce. I don't think it should be a major feature of an expansion, because I'd be pretty disappointed if, like, one of the things on the back of the box was, oh my goodness, you can do dueling. Because in World of Warcraft and games like that, I don't even duel that much. I know a lot of people do, but I don't think it's big enough to be a main feature. Maybe they'll add it in a patch or something. But for PvP, they're adding a new Stronghold game mode in PvP, where they said you can hire soldiers to fight on your side. I believe it's sort of like, yeah, 2 strongholds, so I'm assuming 2 bases on either ends of a map, you'd think, where you can hire soldiers and fight the other team to get heroes to fight on your side, which is an interesting way to go about things. And to win, you basically have to defeat the enemy guild lord. I'd assume that you have to break into their base, lay siege to their base, or something like that. It will also include a guild v guild type feature. I don't know if it's full guilds fighting each other or representatives of the guild, I believe is what Colin Johansson said. in the presentation. But nevertheless, it is giving your guild some sort of way to determine who is the better guild. You could finally settle your beef with other guilds without, switching servers and fighting them in World vs. World. Speaking of World vs. World, they're adding a new Borderland, which looked kind of cool. It's like multiple levels of terrain, sort of like the jungle's supposed to be, higher levels and lower levels. They didn't really go into detail on this, but I'm sure we'll get more information as time goes on. And that's just about it, guys. That's all the features that they told us about anyway for this new expansion. As I said, they haven't actually gone into detail about any of these features. They're just sort of telling us that they exist. They didn't give us a release date, but I have heard 6 weeks being mentioned somewhere. I was watching the Visualwood post presentation podcast, and One Potato was talking about how he heard him say 6 weeks or something like that. So yeah, it's certainly very interesting. I hope we don't have to wait a long time, because I'm really excited. I think ArenaNet have gone above and beyond, and I think this will really revitalize the game and give it some much needed oomph, some energy. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I'll be continuing these videos as we learn more about the game, and I'm sure a bunch of other people will. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
Which time?